Now, this week's news doesn't look very interesting, but that's only at first glance. You see, with imagination, anything is possible, including the ability to expect things way beyond healthy expectations. If we look at the upcoming Clash of Foes boss, we see that not only are they part machine and stone, but they're also weak to lightning. You know who's strong with machines, stones, and lightning? You know who's so popular that they bring another version back? That's right, it's your girl's nameless gunner Jake! Okay, so what have we got here? A Year of the Tiger Neo Vision Guaranteed Summon, a 6-stack banner that can only be done once per player. But as a free-to-play, I have a discerning eye. One so skilled in distinguishing the baits from the must-pose, the trash to the treasures, and the all-around cool guys to, well, Thorgan. So let's take you on a journey through my in-depth analysis. First off, the price. Add it all together, that's 26,000 lapis. Much less than the safety net for a specific unit, but definitely not a small sum to speak of. You also have to consider which units are included. We see that's every non-limited Neo Vision unit released before January 7th, which means Tyvis and anyone before him. And while it is February, they only released 2 other normal banners afterwards, Summoner Lena and 2 other guys. So yeah, it could definitely be worse. But let's take a look at the individual stats. Needless to say, we ignore the small price, small reward stats, but maybe this special ticket might spice things up. For 10,000 lapis, this one ticket will let you grab 50 fragments of a non-limited unit before January 7th, which also happens to include premium units. Of course, you also get 29 units and 3 cool guys, but for veterans, that's like giving me the Lunar New Year banner with no boss. You're only carried by the super cute dog! Now, depending on your progress, an additional 50 unit fragments could be just what you need to get your unit to the next level. And given that any specific unit tends to have a less than 0.05% chance to show up going forward, 10,000 lapis isn't a bad price indeed. But that greedy tiger, it's not done yet. There are 3 more stats afterwards, each guaranteeing at least 1 Neo Vision unit. Stat 4 is 5,000 lapis for 1 guaranteed Neo Vision unit and 200 VIP coins, which, I mean, really means nothing to me. Maybe if it didn't add up to 10 fragments of a normal unit, it means something. But for that price, I'm not even going to blink. Step 5 is another 5,000 lapis for 2 Neo Vision units plus an extra Transcension Pearl. But during this time, I always think worst case scenario, and that pretty much makes me feel better. And finally, the final step is 6,000 lapis for 2 Neo Vision units, 300 VIP coins, and the additional Tiger ticket, which, now we're talking. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's clear one thing up. You might get 2 tickets, but you can't select the same unit twice. You can only get 50 fragments on one unit here, and then you have to use the second ticket on someone else. Now, given that there are more than 3 units here, this shouldn't be an issue for most players, but I just wanted to put that out there in case someone wanted 100 fragments of Shiny Pantsman for some weird reason. So overall, how's the banner? For beginners, it's definitely enticing, and by no means bad, as at the very least you get 5 Neo Vision units and a potential way to get 2 units to EX plus 1. However, as sad as it is to say, the units here won't be getting any better anytime soon. And if you really want to stay on top of things, you'll be better off waiting for a unit you like who also happens to redefine the cool guy bar. Of course, there are some units here that are particularly powerful, and if you happen to lack the fragments to get them to EX plus 1, no one's going to look down on you for spending 10,000 lapis to do so. For veterans, most of you are likely waiting for cool collaboration robots, cute dogs, or Neo Vision Warrior of Light or Paladin CISO. That's definitely done, by the way. If that's the case, then this banner won't give you anything, as it's more designed to help boost your old inventory rather than add something new. Even if you go for the VIP coins, you're going under 26,000 lapis for 500 coins. 500 coins only nets you 25 fragments, and it's really hard to justify 26,000 lapis when it could go directly to a more interesting banner instead. 10,000 lapis for 50 fragments is much more understandable, but in the end that really depends on your current lineup. And finally, this one really seals the deal for me. The name! This Year of the Tiger banner just screams Lunar New Year, but there's no Lunar New Year units at all! So -0 out of jabillion points. Very misleading title, doesn't even have the featured Tiger unit. And just for that one reason, I don't plan to spend on this banner. But if you're still not convinced, don't worry, you've got a week to decide. You can always wait for next week's news before rushing into a decision. Of course, the interesting news doesn't stop there. The Equipment Enhancement event has been revamped. Finally, we say goodbye to the ever-so-frustrating 1% boost and welcome new updates to the selection. This is extremely exciting, and when I first heard of it, I couldn't wait to update my Muscle Man's fist. But in my experience, this just happened. And this. And this. And this. And this and this and this. And ultimately my attack-oriented fist just walked away with a measly 5% attack boost as opposed to, well, 9%. I also noted that I saw a lot more defense, spirit, and HP boosts as opposed to attack and magic. And I want to say, what do you mean by rates for abilities have been adjusted? Now, I am willing to give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this was just one really bad experience, and I happened to get super unlucky. But I'm also no stranger to not-so-fair rates, and I do have to wonder if anyone else is experiencing something similar. I was super stoked to use my 2,516 extra energy juice I haven't quite found a use for, but at this rate it's going to follow a similar route to my extra energy potions. It's starting to back up in my gift box, and I'm wondering if I should be concerned. And that's pretty much it. An interesting banner, an interesting event, and an interesting Clash of Rose boss that hopefully brings some familiar global original units along for the ride. It's all really speculation, but I'm a half-glass full kind of guy when it suits me, and I'd love to hear what you guys think on the matter. You interested in the banner? You interested in the fragments? How have you been doing with the enhancement event? And do you really think they'll introduce a unit so similar to ESTHER but very clearly isn't? I really wouldn't put it past them, but come on! Come on!